What's up, fungi trainers? This is Mycrodex, and today we're going to be expanding some mycelium. We'll be taking some plates that have established and have shown themselves to be completely good, sterile, no contamination, and I'm dropping them into some Ziploc bags that have sterilized grain in it. We're pretty much trying to get these up and running so that we can produce like higher yields of them. I haven't grown any reishi for a few months, which is really odd for me. I've been growing reishi for like 4 or 5 years straight, and I took a break from them because I just had so much that I had harvested that I didn't really need to grow anymore. So I'm bringing them back because I love having these go, especially when they take like 3 months to grow. So you can see here I've taken 3 different cuttings from that's a polychromum plate, more specifically Ganoderma polychromum, aka reishi, and I took 3 different bags of grain spawn. I'm going to use one, turn it directly into a fruiting block. I'll use another one to spread it to other bags to create even more, and that third one is like for whatever. I haven't decided what I'll do with that other one, but worst case scenario, I'll just turn it into another block, and then I'll fruit both of those blocks differently. So you can see I have a bag of mycelium there. I'm doing a lot of different transfers here, just adding some substrate into that, and then I'll break it up and mix it together later. Yeah, so I wanted to edit this together and just show like a bunch of different inoculations. I spent the good first part of this year just making tutorials that are going to allow people to understand what I'm doing without having to explain it every video, because these are fundamentals, and these fundamentals are going to stay the same regardless of the species. So just showing it in the background as I talk is like really good for people who are trying to learn, but I do want to move on and show like why we grow all this stuff in the first place. So this is actually a really important note here, because I saw someone comment that, oh, you can't use grain spawn that has fruit on it because the fruit will rot. Well, there are methods of putting the fruit in the substrate and making it not rot. It'll kind of like repurpose that nutrient. But what I like to do, if it's a significant amount, kind of like this, those are Scooby snacks right there. Like, I'm going to throw that in some eggs later. And I don't contaminate the grain because I didn't touch anything. I just kind of like squeeze the fruiting bodies off the grain up to the top, and then threw it onto like that little napkin so that I can just put it off to the side and finish what I'm doing here. So I removed the fruit. We don't have to worry about rotting anymore because the fruit will die if it doesn't have a way of plugging back into the system. And now I can spread those grains, and I'm making like a bunch of lion's mane blocks at this point. As usual, I'm going to roll down the zipper part to make sure it doesn't open while I'm shaking it, and I'll give it a good shake, give it a gusset, give it a nice base, and then here's the end result. Now this one is, you can see it's like only a quarter of the way filled, and that's on purpose. What I'm going to do is have that fruit in vitro, because usually in grow bags, it's really easy to grow in vitro because the grow bags are really tall, and so it leaves a lot of air in the open space. But in the Ziploc bags, it's a little more difficult, so I'm just kind of practicing that. And you can see that happen by accident on the grain. So if I give them a little less grain and a little more substrate, could probably get some decent yields out of there. What I usually aim for is about a pound. That way I can say each bag has like a pound in it. All right, so I said earlier that the other plate was polychromum, but that was actually something else. It doesn't really matter like what the species is, but this is actually the polychromum. We're just, duplicating all this stuff. What it actually is will matter a little bit later. All this stuff is labeled, obviously. You can see I'm just dropping the cuttings in the grain there. And then you always want to make sure that your cuttings, your isolations are buried underneath. That way they get that 3-dimensional growth. They're going to grow all the way around the grain rather than like across the top. And then if you leave your agar cutting sitting on top, sometimes it'll even just dry out and die without colonizing the grain. For the less aggressive species, that would never happen for a reishi because they're just so on it. They really want to eat. But yeah, make sure you bury those grains. So there's another cutting there, and yep, just gonna bury that. When I shake it up, I still have to cut the little breathing holes on these. I did that off camera because, you know, it's very repetitive, but we've gone over how to do that in other videos. So here I'm like, oh, I want to do like a double cutting so I can get 2 inoculation points. So I cut it twice and scooped it once, and then you can see I dropped it in there. It's split into 2, and that's going to save a little bit of time. That way I can have one of the cuttings on one side and the other on the other, and they'll meet in the middle, so they'll kind of save each other time. See there's 2 cuttings, but it was all in one motion just for convenience. Now that's pretty much this video. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through the rest of this, but thank you guys for watching. We're gonna be bringing the content of the fundamentals to more of a close so we can move on to more advanced topics. I see a lot of different people asking more intermediate to advanced questions, and we're going to try to tackle some of those. So I'll see you guys soon. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff.